Those times, those down times, is where he goes, is she a ride or die?
But how many cases is there actually of them men becoming super successful?
There's no guarantee, but here's what I'm saying. If you want that, you have to be able to play the game.
Everyone always comes to me like, oh, like, I love how independent you are. Then all of a sudden that independence becomes a problem.
Guys say that because they know a lot of women wear it as a badge. So it's just a way to compliment you to make you feel good.
Like childhood trauma, and again from teaching, and obviously what we're talking about with mums and different things, it's so ingrained, and that is the root cause, I think, of all of these relationship issues. Every single one of them.
I think we oversubscribe to that. Yo guys, welcome back to another episode on my channel. I'm sitting in this spot, which means I've got a great conversation lined up for you today. You know, on this channel, we love to talk about all things dating and relationships and seeing what we can do to attract the kind of person and relationship we want. So without further ado, please welcome Leah to the show. Leah, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
How you doing today?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm all good. She came matching, guys. She came matching in black.
Yeah.
I didn't tell her. It was coincidence. So clearly, we're meant to be sat here having this conversation.
For sure.
So I always love to jump straight in, Leah. So first, tell us your age or your age range, asking a lady her age. And then one thing a guy should know about you if he wanted to take you on a date.
Okay, so I'm 28, and I think knowing that I'm Irish is important.
Interesting. Why is that?
I just feel like I get it a lot. Like, we're very different to like English girls.
Yeah, how different are we talking?
In values, I think, and just how we see life.
Yeah, in what sense?
I think we're viewed as being like more traditional in that sense. And I don't know, conversationally, I also feel like when I moved over, something I could see as being a difference between Ireland and here and how we're raised is we're really encouraged to be educated. Not that everyone over here isn't, but there's less emphasis in Ireland placed on how we appear physically and how that works rather than in over here, which I think there's a lot more of that.
Yeah, I think, I would say that I think here the education is pushed a lot. I feel like both is pushed. I think especially for women. I feel like here it's really about get a degree, get a high earning job, be a fitness baddie. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's still pushed here, but I feel like there's obviously, I didn't really understand pretty privilege and stuff before I moved here. Like, that's not really a thing in Ireland. It is to a degree, but not the way it is over here. Like, do you know the way like Mayfair works over here?
Yes.
There's nothing equivalent to that in Ireland.
Okay, so are you just talking literally about clubs and getting into clubs and stuff like that?
Yeah, like that kind of side of things. But also then like not to generalize, but obviously like say Essex, like there's like a very stereotypical like look of like Essex girls.
Yes.
And generally Essex girls, they're not super intelligent. Not that
she's coming for the Essex girls, she's coming for you. She's coming for you.
Not that they're all like, but they're all, there's more of an emphasis on like how we look.
Yes. Yeah. And well, Essex is new money.
Yes.
Essex is new money here. It's very much there's a stereotype of certain things being quite surface level. I think when you're in somewhere like London, place like London, New York, LA, Sydney, we were talking about that. It's really about presenting what looks flashy, fast life. Do you know what I mean? And so, like, where in Ireland did you grow up?
In the country, like literally.
Okay, so you're a country bumpkin as well. Yeah.
Like literally in the mountains.
Yeah. So I would even say, not saying there isn't a cultural difference between Ireland and obviously England, but I would say the difference there definitely is. But I would say the differences that you're seeing the most really come from being a country girl to a city girl.
Yeah, probably.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think 100%. A lot of country girls here feel the same.
I did live in Dublin for 4 years before I moved over here because I went to uni in Dublin.
Right.
There's still nothing comparable.
Yeah, but
and
Dublin's
I think the jump is wild.
Yeah, but Dublin's not like, it's not London though.
No, it's not.
Do you know what I mean?
It's not even comparable. Yeah. That was why I moved in the end, because it was like at the time it was actually as expensive for me to stay in Dublin as it was for me to move here, which obviously makes no sense because we're saying they're not comparable.
Yeah.
So
there's way more here.
Yeah.
What do you think is the hardest thing about dating today for a lot of women?
I think women, the career thing that we talked about. Okay.
Yes.
So like a lot of women are very career focused in like whatever that is that they're choosing to be in.
Yeah.
I've been in situations as well where men feel emasculated if they're not doing as well as you in terms of like whether that's money, or if they feel like you're doing better in what you're doing than them, and that causes issues then in the relationship.
Okay, so what have men said that make that, or what have you heard that makes you go, oh, it's because of, you know, how well I'm doing as a woman?
I've literally had someone say to me that it was like, so they were in a situation where I was making a lot more money than them. I was in a relationship with them.
Yeah.
It was kind of their choice because they opted to go and take a different career path. Obviously, I had to take a bit of a cut. But in return, it was I was supposed to accept not going on dates, not going on holidays, not doing all these things. To which I said yes to no dates, perfectly happy to do that. But I said I want to go on holidays, and I was like, if I'm going to say that I'm going to pay for the holidays, you can't really tell me that we're not going to do that, because I said I can go on holidays with the girls and I can do all that, but you're not going to like that either. So it's like you have to compromise here. I'll do the no dates, but there has to be a little bit of, you know.
I hear that. So if you were earning more, why wouldn't you pay for him?
That's what I was saying I would, but I was being told that no, that's emasculating. And we actually
He said that to you?
Yes.
Really?
Yes, and we actually did. We went on 2 holidays, but both holidays he kind of had attitude at me and ruined both of the holidays.
Why did he have an attitude?
Because it was like self-sabotage, because he didn't want to be there because he feels emasculated.
And he said to you, I feel emasculated because you pay for stuff. Interesting.
Yeah, and I also I have a lot of friends that have they're they work in very high powered jobs. I have a friend that works in law. I have a friend that works in asset management. They also have similar issues, or have had similar issues in the past, because men feel very threatened by them and what they do.
I hear you. I'm going to keep it real with you. Okay. I think there's a very small percentage of men who can feel quite insecure. But for the majority, it's really not that. I think the reality is, whether women realize it or not, if you are providing for a man, you don't respect him the same way as if he was providing for you. You don't respect him as much as the man in the relationship, because you feel like you're taking on a burden that you feel ultimately you want him to take on for you. Understand that. The disrespect that comes with that, or the lack of respect that comes with that, men feel it. And the biggest way that men feel love is appreciation and respect. So then this is where some guys can get abusive, right? Because they go, well, if you're not going to respect me through love, you're going to respect me through fear. Right? So a lot of the time, the emasculation isn't because of the money aspect. The money is just a number. It's actually because she doesn't respect him, and he can feel that because maybe she's providing more in that area of the relationship. And men don't take well to a lack of respect in a relationship, especially if it started one way. If it started where, you know, it was kind of more equal, or he was doing fine, he took a career shift, right? So you're going to take a pay cut. That's normal, right? But it would have started where he felt you looking up to him, thinking he's amazing, having level of respect for him. And then as you stepped more into that role, the respect you would have had for him, it's even little things, the way you look at him, the way you speak to him, maybe even trying to tell him what to do. Because you're thinking, well, if I'm providing, right, I'm going to tell you what to do. But he's like, nah, that's not going to run. And that's what men feel.
I hear what you're saying, and I do understand that. But say this situation that I'm talking about with my ex, I really don't feel like I did any of that, and I felt like I was being supportive in terms of he wanted to start, he was quite accomplished in what he was already doing, and he wanted to start something new, and obviously there's that transition period, and I felt like I was being understanding of that and trying to support him through that. And I feel like that's where, I don't know if men see sometimes the effort you're doing in that regard for them, as in I wasn't putting pressure on him to go on dates and things like that, for example. So I'm being okay, we've been together for 4 years now, so are the dates really obviously they're important, but we can just watch a film on a Friday night, you know what I mean? And I wasn't making him feel a type of way, I don't think. And he still had his own priorities. He still had money to pay for his car every month. He had a nice car. Yeah. Still had money to pay for his fancy gym membership every month. You know what I mean? I'm not complaining about him doing them.
How did that make you feel?
For himself. They're that was his priorities. But then it was my response, actually, honestly, in that situation was then, you've made your priorities like known and clear. So I just focus more on myself. And that's what, again, men don't like that, I feel like.
What did that look like when you decided, okay, cool, I'm going to focus more on myself? Because you felt he wasn't prioritizing you.
Yeah, I was pouring more into my work. And I felt he'd been asking me to do that. So for example, like this relationship I got with this guy when I was 22. So this was happening around when I was like 26. So we've been together for quite a while. And yeah, I just started pouring more into. He'd been asking me. So obviously when I got with him when I was 22, I was obviously younger, wanted more of his time. Like back then I can recognize I was definitely more demanding of his time and different things.
Sure.
But then when I understand, and where I came to that understanding of, okay, he's trying to like build, and I felt like I was trying to be supportive of that, and I started like, I was teaching at the time, and then I was also building my business. So I started trying to pour more just into my business and focus more on that while he was doing his thing. But I felt like that then in turn, he was asking me to do that as well, to focus less on him. But then when I did it, I don't feel like he liked it.
So like, how did that, what was it that he didn't like?
Just that I wasn't maybe looking for his attention then as much. Because
he wasn't like a priority.
Maybe. Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you, Leah. Do you know what I think happened? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Right. And I completely understand. He takes a shift and you still see him paying for his nice car, his membership, whatever it is. And you're like, why are we going on dates? I know that a date costs less than your car monthly. So you're right to be frustrated.
That 100%. honestly, I honestly was at a point where that wasn't an issue.
Okay, fair enough.
But
I think you felt that you weren't being prioritized.
There was an element, obviously, always in that relationship where I felt like I wasn't being prioritized, because there was also his mum. So this is also a massive issue, I think, in dating.
Yeah.
I think I worked in an all boys school as well, and I could see this a lot. So there's been a generation of basically, obviously not just boys as well, boys and girls, but with no dads around, and a lot of single mums. And the issue there is the sons a lot of the time are made feel like they're the man of the house, and the mum doesn't end up getting another partner. So there's like all this responsibility put on the son to be the man of the house and all of that stuff. And in the situation that I'm talking about, he was an only child. And that was very much the situation. So there was a lot of responsibility there on him. And it was also like, we'd been together for a long time. And it was like, I feel like there was guilt and pressure that he couldn't move to the next stage with me because there was still responsibilities at home. But also I do feel like he wasn't ready as well.
Ready for what?
Like that next step with me, like moving in with me and doing all of that stuff. So that was a point of contention in our relationship, and I do think that was also another reason.
So you felt like he was kind of playing the man in his mum's life,
and
100%. That was preventing him from playing the man in your life.
100%.
Did you have that conversation with him?
Yes, multiple times.
What did he say?
To a degree, could recognize it, but there was a lot of, I would say, emotional manipulation there. So I feel like it was so
from him or his mum. His mum.
But I feel like it was very ingrained, I think, from a very young age, and I could see a lot of that. And I witnessed this a lot when I was teaching in school, because I taught all boys, and I seen this situation happen and unfold kind of before my eyes a lot. I think it's quite common.
Yeah, it's almost like the mum. It's almost like the mum gets to a relationship with their son.
Yeah. No, it is.
And so when another woman comes, she's like, who the hell is this woman?
Yeah, that's very much what happened.
Yeah. But then that's, unfortunately, she should be able to recognize, no, my son's a man, he needs to live his own life, build his own world. But also, and this comes with wisdom, for him to recognize, oh, this has affected my relationship with the woman that I do want to build with. But at the end of the day, I do think if he was ready for that step and he wanted to take it, I do think a guy would take that step. Like
Yeah,
moving in
I
with each
agree.
other, I don't think that's such a big deal. Okay, so do you think, what percentage of men do you think are actually intimidated by like a high achieving woman?
I think a lot, you know. I feel like, and it is the power balance, and I do understand that. And I understand, like, men like to feel powerful and they like responsibility and they want to look after a woman. I think innately and by nature, I think men are like that and should want to be like that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that necessarily.
Yeah.
But that's where the issue comes from, isn't it? And there's obviously all the stats and studies in America. It's like, what is it? Like women in America are like 2 times more likely to be degree educated than a man. And
Yeah.
there's all of these now like issues in society because women generally, it is a generalization, but are excelling in what they're doing more than men. So that's where the problem is coming in, because men aren't rising up to be better than that. And they're actually, and that's where obviously incel culture and all of that has come from as well, is because instead of, so they see women doing better than them, and instead of trying to just level themselves up, it's then to bring the women back down.
I hear what you're saying. Okay, there's definitely multiple things happening. So yes, you're right. Women under the age of 30 actually out earn their male counterparts. Twice as many women go to university than men. So women are killing it. But the issue isn't that women are doing really well. Is that if you have a woman who is doing really well, she struggles to be with a man who isn't where she is. She struggles to date down. And if she does feel like she's quote unquote dating down, she feels like she's settling.
Yeah, but why is that as well? Because it's weird. You said women under 30, because we're thinking it's obviously the 30 age, you go to have kids.
Yes.
So there's also that argument of, if I can do this for myself, I need someone that's going to have to at least equal that or level it for when, so I can maintain the same sort of lifestyle when I move to that next stage of having kids.
I hear you. So here's what I would say. One thing I would say is that men, we have no issue dating down. We date down all the time throughout history, right? Even now, okay? Now, I completely understand why as a woman you want someone on your level or higher, but you say about lifestyle. As long as you have a guy who brings in some level of stability, if he's not the level you're at, right, then you know you'd survive, but it's about preference, right? It's about preference. And if we just keep it a buck, let's just be honest. Would you rather be with a guy who's on the same level as you or the guy that you can look up to?
Yeah, it's going to be the one you can look up to.
Right. Are you going to respect the guy who's on the same level or below, or the guy who you look up to?
The respect thing now, do you see, that's an interesting one, because I feel like my last relationship, so they were very accomplished in what they do, but when it comes to, so I obviously had respect for that initially, but that very quickly was being lost because of how I was being treated in the situation. Nothing to do with, obviously, so they're very accomplished career-wise, but absolutely not in any way, shape or form emotionally.
Sure.
So then I think it's a bit more complex than whether you're just out earning someone or where you are, because I'm looking at it as in, I'd rather just have the respect in a relationship, because that's actually way more important.
Yeah, so I agree. It's not just a money thing. It's his character, his self-development, his confidence, his ability to lead, take responsibility. Yeah. Completely agree with you. I guess what I'm saying is that for a lot of women, if you're like, I want a guy on my level or above, the more successful you are, the smaller that pool gets.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? And then the issue with the incel culture is because every woman is leveling herself up, but women, because here's the thing, women are now starting to take the positions that men have traditionally taken, but they don't want to take the responsibility that comes with that. Like, they don't want to be the provider. They don't want to be the person who leads the relationship. No. They don't want to be the person who takes responsibility. So when thing goes wrong, everyone's looking at you. They still want the man to do that. And so I think this is why there's an interesting dichotomy where a woman's like, I'm doing really well, I can provide, I can lead, but then you want a man to do that. You struggle to, I think a lot of women struggle to follow a man if she feels he's not doing better than her. Because it's like, well, if we're leading our lives and I'm led to a better position, why on earth would I follow you? I get it. But then if she gets to a relationship with that man, she struggles to, if we're talking traditional roles, follow his leadership, because she believes because maybe her position that she's in, maybe she's more educated. And that's fair enough. And here's the thing. I'm like, look, if you're in a better position and you feel like you can lead, why don't you just take that leadership position? Like, why don't women want to take that leadership position in a relationship if they're doing better than the man? That's a genuine question.
Yeah. Well, just from me, I would always want... in my mentality, definitely more traditional. And like, even though like I've like gone to uni, been a teacher, worked my way up, I was second in charge, was head of department, run my own business, do different things.
That's not traditional.
But I would still, but that's because I'm independent and I've had to be. Like, I moved out of home when I was 17 and I've been doing it on my own since then.
Yep.
So, but I would be very happy at this point in my life. Like, I moved to the UK when I was 21 and I had, like, I watched one of your videos and you were talking about, like, you need to start prepping, like, if you want, like, to be a wife and to have kids, like, you need to be thinking about that in your early 20s. I was thinking about that from 21 when I moved over here. Like, that was the plan, like, because that's what I want from life. I think, like, family, and obviously not everyone nowadays shares the same views that I have, but I think, like, that's, family is the most important thing in life, isn't it? And it's like the end game of life.
Yeah.
If you have them values.
Yeah.
So, and I'm 28. I've done all the work. I'm tired. I would love to just
every girl gets to this point, you know. Every girl gets to this point.
I'm tired.
So here's the thing. I understand. I understand. I'm just giving you the male perspective. Guys will look at you and be like, cool. So what's happened is you've realized what it means to be an independent individual out here. You've realized what it means when you have to take responsibility for yourself, and now you're tired. And now you want a man to take responsibility for you. And so guys are like, well, if you're a traditional, you wouldn't be doing all that.
Anyway, yeah, I hear it.
Do you know what I mean? And I think, I completely hear you. I get that. I think sometimes what guys can hear is that you had your fun being modern independent, and now you want a traditional relationship because there's benefits that come with that. And so sometimes a guy will go, cool, I will give that to you, but you have to follow these standards that I have. You follow my leadership. You know, like, support me in the way that I need to. If you want to go on that girl's trip and I say no, you're not going. Right? Because you can't have it both ways. Equally, if you're like, you know what, I don't want that kind of relationship, absolutely fine. But then you're not looking for a masculine man who's going to lead you. You're looking for more 50-50 modern egalitarian relationship. There's pros and cons to everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of like thinking about now. I'm like I'm kind of rethinking it all. Like, I want to have kids. That's like, from my perspective, it's like, just while they're young, like, you need support, because I want to raise them, like, and I would preferably not work until they go to school age.
Yeah.
So that's like, obviously, that gap that you have to like factor and consider.
Yeah.
That's where the issue comes in.
Sure. I mean, you can still do that because there are plenty of single mums.
Yeah.
It's just harder on your own, but you can technically still do that.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to do that because I
100%.
value family unit, and I do think that's so important.
I agree. So let me ask you, what do you think the kind of man that you want to be with, what do you think he looks for in a woman?
That's a very good question.
You need to know this if you're going to be with him.
Very good question.
Have a guess. Give me some things. What do you think he looks for? What do you think attracts him to that kind of woman that he's going to provide that frame for?
That's like, though, because all of these, so men want support, but that looks different to different men. Like, what do you mean? Because some will value, I don't know, like, okay, all men are going to value doing the homesy stuff. Like, they do see, like, obviously.
Sure, but I mean, if he's doing well, he can pay for that.
True. That's what I'm saying, though, because it depends your financial scale then, doesn't it?
That's really true. Men still value it, though. You're absolutely right. Like, can she take care of a home, for sure? Yeah,
like cooking, cleaning, looking after the kids. I think they look... what's your opinion? Do you think men look for traits that was, like, in their mother?
If they have a good relationship with their mum, yes.
Yeah.
If their mum was nurturing, caring, loving, he's looking for those qualities in a woman, for sure. Especially if their parents are still together. Because it's like, that's the example he's seeing. So cool. That's the kind of woman who is wife material.
Yes.
Right? If she's feminine, 100%. A lot of the time, if it comes from a single parent household and she was obviously quite strong and independent, which if they might have to be if they're a single parent, understandably so. If that's what they've grown up with, they may choose that at first because that's what they know. But a lot of the time those relationships don't work out if he's a masculine man who's going to lead, because you just clash.
But you see, this is like, I feel like in situations that I've been in, I feel like everyone always comes to me like, oh, like, I love how independent you are. But then but then all of a sudden that independence becomes a problem.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I think there's two things. I think one, I think guys say that because they know a lot of women wear it as a badge. So it's just a way to compliment you to make you feel good. I don't think it's because they necessarily like that. Or they're like, oh, this isn't they don't dislike it, but I don't think it's an attraction trigger. You know, it's like a girl going to a guy like, I really love your car, which you might, but that's not why you're necessarily going to choose him, right? But you know he likes cars, he's proud of his car, I'm going to compliment him because it makes him feel good. The second thing I'd say is that when a guy meets a girl, he doesn't know whether he wants her seriously or casually a lot of the time. Sometimes he'll know straight away, sometimes he doesn't. How he knows whether he wants to take her seriously is as he dates her and gets to know her. If he starts to date you and gets to know you, and he's like, yeah, this is just a casual thing, your independence, green light, golden, because she doesn't need anything from me. She's not going to look for me for attention. She's not going to look to me to help her out with stuff. She's not going to look to me to fulfill her certain needs because she is independent and she can do that herself. If he starts to go, actually, I think she's an amazing person, I want to build something with her, your independence looks like you not prioritizing the relationship. Now, we talk about being traditional, right? We all have masculine and feminine within us, right? Of course. And they serve different purposes in our lives. The masculine seeks direction, ambition, and freedom, right? Which is great because it helps you become successful in your business, successful in your career, all of that. The feminine seeks closeness, intimacy, and connection. So if you're a woman who's in her feminine, in her traditional, the relationship is a priority over almost everything else.
Yeah.
If a man feels that, and that's the balance, right? If he's going to be striving for greatness, someone has to prioritize the well-being of the relationship. Not saying he shouldn't have it shouldn't be a priority, but more for her if she's in the feminine and he's the masculine, right? Because, you know, he builds success. When he wins, she helps maintain the relationship, right? If you're both doing that, the relationship dies.
But that's what if they're not leading properly and effectively? That's the other argument, isn't it? Because in my most recent situation, I felt like that was what happened because I was very much that person, completely pouring in, completely like doing everything to support all of that. But I was putting myself then in a situation where I'm not working hard enough in my business and the things that I need to do, but you're also not providing financially what I need. So now I have to dip back out of that to do more of what I need to provide for my basic needs. So then that's obviously where that...
If you're loving this episode and these kinds of conversations, then I want to give you something. We recently launched the Kits Angels community. This is a sisterhood for women who are tired of what the dating scene has given them and are ready to take their love lives to the next level. It's a space for you as a woman to not be alone in your journey to love, where we learn, talk, and share our experiences as part of a strong sisterhood, with some leadership and guidance from yours truly, of course. Not to mention never before seen videos from me on how I've led dozens of women to meeting great men. And so as a thank you for watching this episode, I'm giving you a month's membership completely complimentary on me. Just click the Kits Angels link below, and when you join the group, message me the code phrase Angels Podcast and I will pay for your membership. Now back to the episode.
Completely hear that. So one thing I would say is, I understand the financials is an aspect, but that's not necessarily the way a man would need to lead. It's more about leading the relationship. So like the example I'll give is like Martin Luther King. On paper, he actually he was hardly earning anything. It was his wife who was earning money, right? But she would bring it to him and be like, so what are we going to do with this? Because obviously he had a much higher purpose. He was doing the movement, all of that, right? So on paper, she was significantly out earning him, but she was using that money to support the vision and the mission, right? So it's not so much about the money, it's about the dynamic between you.
Mm-hmm.
So like, let me ask you a question. Did you lose trust in his leadership throughout the relationship at some point?
Well, to a degree,
Mhm.
when it was like, you're now putting me in a situation where you're making my finances like very difficult.
Was he like trying to tell you what to do with your finances, or like why was that? Was it just because he wasn't earning enough at that point where he could provide for the both of you?
Yeah, so like obviously we lived separately and we had our own, so we're both paying rent and like both bills to pay.
Yeah.
And because I was so heavily involved in like his business and like what he was doing, that was directly taking time out of obviously what I've been doing.
Sure.
So I was like very heavily kind of playing supporting role with all of that. And then there was like things about like re-signing contracts, saying different things that he was waiting for, and he was relying a bit more on me. But then that was putting, like, it was to a point that I can't handle, because I couldn't, his expenditure and my incoming, not the same thing. Like his outgoings are a lot higher than mine.
Were you funding his outgoings?
Yes.
For how long?
Couple months while we were waiting. He was waiting to like say re-sign contracts and different things. Okay. So it was like a couple of months of it. But then even when he did re-sign a couple of things, it was, I don't know, it just never really got rectified from there.
When you say rectified, what do you mean?
Like, I just felt, and I felt like that was what happened in my previous relationship as well. It was like when the finances became an issue. It was like nothing else before the finances. It was specifically when the finances become an issue. That's when the whole relationship kind of crumbled.
And why do you think that's happened?
Because I feel like it's that, I think, man thing of they feel like they have to provide, and then when they're not doing it in that way, they don't like it, to handle it. So I think it changes the dynamic, and then yeah, but it's like I didn't intentionally get in that situation, in either situations in the first place.
Yeah, I understand that for sure.
And like I have never just been in a relationship or got with someone because I think they're gonna like elevate me financially. Like that's like, you know, that argument of like 50, I'm traditional in a sense, like I want a family, I really believe in like family unit, getting married, that's what I want to do in my life. How that looks like, I know men like to lead, men like to be the provider. There's obviously loads of different ways, as we spoke about, that you can lead though, and there's some more important.
I'd say less men want to do that now, but yeah.
But that's like all these conversations that are about relationships online all the time. It's usually centered around finances, isn't it? It's not really about like the other ways. I'm seeing a little bit more, or maybe it's just my algorithm at the minute. Yeah. Seeing a little bit more now about like
traumatized by the finances, and now the algorithm is pushing about. It's just all about the money,
humility and peace and all that stuff.
I get you.
But that is like a lot of the conversations, isn't it? It's just all around finances. But I found in both of them situations, that was when the relationship ended, basically, and it was centered around finances, really and truly.
Okay, so first I'll say you don't have to share anything you don't want to. Mm-hmm. You said you were with your previous relationship, was it 4 years?
So the two I'm speaking about, my most previous one I was with him for 18 months, and then the one before that was 5 years.
Okay, so let's talk about the 18 months one. Mm-hmm. Up until those 2 months, was he?
It wasn't, so about 6 months.
Oh, I thought you said it was 2 months that you were funding his
no, it was about 6 months.
About 6 months.
Yeah.
Okay, that's like half the relationship. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
And you said with the one previous that was like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, and that was only the last year or couple of months where that became the issue. And I wasn't funding his life, that long relationship. It was just more of we'd had the conversation, he's going a new way, we can't do dates. But I said I'm not willing to give up holidays, because this is when I was teaching, and obviously we only get holidays at certain points in the year, and you're so stressed and run down. I was like, I need to go on a holiday. And I said, I can go with the girls, but I know you're not going to like that all the time. So if I'm saying I'm going to pay
for him,
you can't really tell me no, because I'm making a compromise of no dates and no things. But like the holidays was just non-negotiable.
So he told you no even when you want to pay for him?
Yeah, but that's what I paid for 2 holidays that he went on, but self-sabotaged both of the holidays because I think he felt emasculated. So he did let me pay, but it was like a conversation we had before where he didn't want to do it.
Sure. Were you making the decisions because you were paying?
Not even.
So like
Genuinely.
you're like, hey babe, here's the money. What are we doing with it?
Yes, like
really.
I really.
Okay, that's on him then. That's on him. Like legit, that's on him because, like, because this is what I was saying about. I used the Martin Luther King example. Even if as the woman you're earning more, if you have that traditional dynamic, what you're bringing to the relationship is there to support the mission that he's doing, right?
Yes.
If he has an issue with that, then that is completely on him.
And I used to always say to him, I was like, I know this is only going to be a short-lived period of time. And I was like, I'm perfectly happy to do this right now. Like I was like, don't be feeling emasculated by it because like I know when you can that you'll do above and beyond for me.
So I have a question. Because if you knew it was for a short period of time and he was like, we're not going to do holidays, why didn't you just not do holidays? Well,
I didn't know. I don't know for certain, but obviously I'm trusting him, isn't it?
Yep.
That's like his vision and he's telling me this is going to happen and I'm trusting and I'm believing in that. But it was for me at the time, like genuinely, like with the way I was working like 80-hour weeks between teaching and running my like beauty business. So when I have a week off here and there, I need to go away.
So was there not something else you could have done that would give you a break, but still followed his plan of not doing holidays?
But do you not think me compromising on not going on dates? Like, say the holidays, right? So I'd get 2 holidays a year, for example. Like 2 of the holidays I went on, for example, one was literally for a day. It was a day to Paris. And it was because there was teacher strikes. And it just so happened to fall on my birthday. And I was like, we're going to Paris for the day, for my birthday. And then the other one was a summer holiday for a week in the summer.
Yeah. So listen, I don't disagree with you. Like in that situation, I'd be like, yeah, sure. Like you want to go on holiday? Let's go. Right. If I was falling on hard times. I don't disagree with you in terms of your logic of what you'd like to do. But if you're with a man and this is what he says, this is the plan, at least for now, and you're like, no, I'm going to do it anyway, that's you not following his leadership.
I understand. But also from my perspective, it's like I have and am already making so many compromises for you. And I'm asking this one thing.
I understand.
And you 100%. Can't do that.
I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you. But then this is where... Because up until that point, because you've been together for a long time, up until that point, would you say that it was a more traditional dynamic where when he was making those decisions and plans, you're like, yeah, babe, I'm on board. I'm going to support you in that. Okay. So that's where the shift happened. What happened was it went from, because he was in a position to do whatever, you're like, cool, I'm going to follow your leadership. I'm going to follow the game plan. And then when he wasn't in that position, and I completely understand why you want to do things you do. I'm on board with you with that. But the shift that happened was you stopped following his game plan. And that's when you started battling. Now, the reason you stopped following his game plan was because of the financial situation. Completely understand that, right? And finances is actually a common reason why a lot of relationships break down. But it wasn't because of the money. It was not because of the money. It was because he felt you were no longer on his team. You were trying to make him be on your team.
But I don't know how you could feel like that when I'm being so supportive. Like, and this is like, I think like...
Because when he says, hey babe, we're not going to go on holiday, and you're like, no.
But to all the other things that he does that I just still agree to, but it's just that one thing. But this is like...
But here's the thing. This is where you go to him, you say, you have that conversation about, look babe, this is what I feel like I need. This is what's really important to me. Is there something we can come up with together? And let him come with a solution. That's his role as the man and leader in the relationship. But when you go, no, fuck you, I'm going, you're saying, I don't trust you to lead us anymore. All he hears is that's just disrespect to him. That's the dynamic that changed. It has nothing to do with the money. And I completely get, but here's the thing, and this is what I think a lot of women can miss out on. I'm not saying it definitely would have gone this way with him, but I'm saying, for example, in that situation, if, for example, you go, okay, I know I want to go on holidays. I know I need this break, but if this is what my relationship needs right now to help him succeed, that's what I'm going to do. If that's what he needs from me, that's what I'm going to do. He then becomes super successful. Who does he reward for that? You.
Yeah.
That's what happened with Jeff Bezos. That's what happened with Bill Gates. Like, because with these billionaires who obviously, because of their money, they can get any woman in the world. I know Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates, I don't think they were their wives anymore, but they were with them for a long time. It was in those moments where they supported him in those down times that makes a man go, I'm going to take care of this woman for the rest of my life. For at least the rest of her life. Because the thing is, contrary to popular belief, men are naturally loyal. And when I say that, I'm not talking necessarily sexually exclusive. Okay, men and women both cheat at the same rate. I think it's men 28%, women 24%. Okay, I mean loyal in terms of his commitment to being the man in your life, to provide for you, to protect you, to look after you. He may fuck up sexually, fine. But a man's loyalty doesn't come with who he doesn't have sex with. His loyalty comes from how does he invest in the woman that he's choosing. Those times, those down times, right, is where he goes, is she a ride or die? Can she still follow me even when she's not sure? Because if you're a traditional feminine woman, that's what it takes to be with that kind of man. And the payoff for that is that when he becomes super successful, you get soft girl life.
But how many cases is there actually of them men becoming super successful?
There's no guarantee, but here's what I'm saying. If you want that, you have to be able to play the game.
But this is so there's just, I think though, with men, there's just such a, like, and not all men, there are some very good men, but I just think there's such a basic level of respect that's missing. And I think it's so, like, just in terms of us being our own humans and our own entities, and respect for our lives as individuals outside of that relationship, and like respect for what we want. It's not all just we come into your world and we're now, our entire like life and everything in it is to just support you. I think there's like a fundamental lack of respect for us as individuals actually by so many men.
Okay, so you were with him for like 4 years. Did you feel that way the entire relationship? You seem like an intelligent, confident woman. I think you would have stayed if it was.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Like, if I'm very honest, like, but I'm just like, in my more recent situation, I feel like there was so I just feel like it's so complex talking about these things, isn't it?
So what is it that you felt like he didn't care about what you desired or wanted?
To a degree, in my most recent situation, 1,000,000%, it was very much, you need to just do what I'm doing. Like, you're here. Like, I'm like, is that my fault? Because like at the start, I was like, whatever you want to do, I'm down. I'm here. Like, I'm so ready for this. Like, I'm here to support you. Whatever you're doing, done.
And then did that change?
It did change, as I'm saying, when I felt like I couldn't really trust that leadership anymore.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked you that question.
Yeah, but then it's like, do men not look at themselves in that situation and look at where it's gone wrong with them? Because I didn't change.
But my perspective. Change.
Yeah, but that didn't change out of nowhere. That changed because you've changed something that you were doing. Like, when I initially met him, I was presented with, I thought I'd met Prince Charming.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
Human. Everything's fantastic. Promises me the world, but was delivering. Like, on our first date. I met him like the end of February. My birthday's mid-March. On our first date, men as well, like, I'm not stupid, okay? Men can promise you the world, okay? But they usually don't deliver, okay? Sure. But this situation, so we go on our first date, he's promising me the world. He's like, oh, I'm going to take you to the Four Seasons for your birthday. So obviously we meet the end of Feb. My birthday's mid-March. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Okay. But he does. He brings me to the Four Seasons. He delivers. He takes me here, there, everywhere. We're doing everything. And it is that way for a couple months, 4, 5, 6 months even, I'd say. Everything's perfect. He's perfect. This and that. But then I see a different version of him. And there's like, then if you want to start talking about like narcissism, and then also just when you start to innately know someone, like childhood trauma, and again from teaching, and obviously what we're talking about with mums and different things, it's so ingrained, and that is the root cause I think, of all of these relationship issues. Every single one of
I
them.
think we oversubscribe to that, because I think our parents' generation and the generation before them were worse off in their childhoods, but they have way more successful relationships.
To a degree, I agree with what you're saying, but also they had much so not probably our parents before that, they had a more stable, in a lot of ways, family home than we grew up in, because the structure was there of the family.
It was a community.
Yes.
They had more. You're absolutely right. We lack the community they had.
Yeah.
And the community around them helped course correct them and the relationship.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. And we don't have that.
No.
Right. So 100%. So with your situation with the guy you just told me about, what it sounds like is that you fell for this picture perfect guy. Yeah. And then when he stopped being picture perfect, you started to lose respect for him.
Yeah, but also I think like women.
And to be fair, I'll be honest, I'd look at him and be like, well, if you're going to start that strong, that's what she's going to expect from the relationship. So I agree. And
women naturally, and this is like loads of women have said to me, and I
always
think this
do
is true.
Always do coffee dates, guys. Always start with never 4 seasons. Don't do it. Just take her for a walk and biscuits. Okay? Maybe a picnic.
Damn. Women naturally want to help and fix. We're fixers. Me being a teacher as well. This is my problem. It's too ingrained in my personality. I want to fix people. I want to help people. But when people show me who they are, that's when I need to leave. And that's like, if I'd have just left and just been like, no, I'm not dealing with that. Instead of being like, oh, he had a bad day, maybe I'll just like no, because that's actually the problem, because then I just end up getting disrespected all the time. And I think actually from teaching, because someone asked me, they're like, why do you actually always just try to fix it? Why don't you just leave? And I think it's like the teacher training, because obviously we were with kids all the time. And you're taught to be like, oh, you have to help them this way. And you're always trying to like cater to them. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
And you're actually so used to like tolerating and accepting disrespect all the time as a teacher. So it's like nearly ingrained in my psyche to like do that. And it's a bit sick, actually.
I hear you. So I agree. If you feel like you're being ultimately disrespected, then sure, I hear you. But what you're telling me, what you told me, was that you started to lose trust in his leadership because the thing is, who he was in the beginning and who you saw on the other end, they're both him. Yeah. There's different sides to him. They're different sides to him in different positions.
But is it also not just one was what he wants me to see? And that's not, because I had turned around to him at a point last year and I was like, why aren't you how you were when I met you at the start?
Oh, yo, that cut deep. Woo! Imagine, why are you not the man that when we met? Okay, who was taking? Yeah, that cut him deep. I won't even lie to you.
But he said that wasn't the real me. You're never who you are at the start.
So what I would say is this: it's not that it wasn't him; it's an investment. So he take you to the 4 seasons mid-March.
Yeah.
Like, just honestly, do you think he's doing that because he thinks you're an amazing person?
Well, I did, yeah.
No, he's not doing that because he doesn't know you.
Mm.
You met in February.
True.
This is mid-March. He's doing it because he's trying to impress you.
Yeah.
Okay? He's doing it because he wants to, have a good impression. Mm-hmm. He wants to make you feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Everything a guy does in the beginning is an investment.
Mm-hmm.
And I say this, ladies, I say this with love. He's not doing it because you're an amazing person. He has no idea who you are.
Yeah. And it's like, because we want it to be that, isn't it?
Sure. Right? Delusion.
Yeah.
Right? But I'm just giving it to you real. Okay? Now, what does an investment mean? It means there's a return later.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The return he would have expected is, okay, if I can make this investment and show up in this way for her in the beginning, when I can't do that, she's going to stick by me. And what happens was you didn't.
Well, I did for months, actually.
For a month?
No, months.
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 Oh, I thought you said a month.
No, months.
And here's the thing. I don't even disagree with you, because if I was having that conversation with him, I'd have been like, hey, bro, if this is how you started, this is what she's going to expect the standard is. And so when you don't meet that standard, you can't be pissed off that she's like, what the hell's going on? I agree with you. I agree with you. That's what I would tell him.
But for me, it was not the material things. It was like, that's when I'm talking about he changed, it's actually not that. It wasn't that. It was his personality changed. At the start, it was things even like on our first date, we went for sushi. Okay. I was like, I don't actually really like sushi, but this is really nice. And he was like, oh, what's your favorite food? And I was like, I love steak. And he was like, okay, cool. Next time we met, without even asking or thought, he'd ordered from his favorite steak restaurant, but like all this stuff, like, and like I went to his flat and he'd just ordered it because I was working really late, got around, and I get in and he's like set up this table with all this stuff, like, and he was like, you said you liked steak, and I was like, damn, like, he, like, you know, he's listening to me, he remembers, like, you know, to do things like that. It was things like that only lasted them first couple of months. It was like, honestly, when I'm speaking about it, it's not the material things.
I believe you, right? Because it's for you, it's like the priority and investment he's made to fulfill your desires.
Yes.
So let me ask you, what desires of his were you fulfilling?
Yeah, so like he wanted, but like that's like I felt like I was trying to, like, so he wanted me to be more involved in like his business and like more on side to like doing, and which I was doing. I feel like I was doing anyway. I don't think I could have been doing any more than I was.
Sure.
As I was saying, I was like neglecting my things to do his things.
I understand that. Valid for that, right? That's you supporting the mission and the vision. What desires of his were you fulfilling?
So when you're speaking about desires now, what are we talking about?
You tell me.
So like he wants, like, what he values more than anything as well is like family. And like he wants to have a family. I was very willing to like do, but
that's the mission though. So here's the thing, there's the mission, then there's our own personal desires. So the mission for you is good relationship, build a good family, healthy home, traditional life. Cool. But your desires are going on holiday, having steak,
are his desires.
Going on dates. So what were his desires? That's my point. He
was so obsessed with his work though. So everything revolved and resulted around work for him, actually.
Yeah.
Everything.
I understand. So I'm not saying he was perfect. He wasn't perfect.
Football, actually. So like he loves football, and I actually encouraged him to go back and to stay playing football, because I was like, I've noticed you're a much nicer person when you're doing that regularly. So I said, can you go do that every week? I was like, go do it every day if that's what you want to do. Like, genuinely, like, I'll be that person.
I understand. But what were his desires that you were fulfilling? And this is the point I'm making, right?
Can you give me an example? Because I'm getting a bit like...
Sure, of course.
Lost.
Okay, so like, for example, let's say, how many times would you initiate doing something sexual fun when you're in a public place because he loves that? What did he enjoy in the bedroom that you're like, I'm going to make an effort to do this for him?
Oh, yeah. All
right?
Sure,
of course. Also, but like, for example, let's say, you know, after a long day, how many times did he come back to a long day? You had food ready.
Me bringing him things.
Giving him the stuff.
No, I probably... So he only liked eating like traditional food. Yeah. So like I can't cook traditional food. I'd help him.
What kind of traditional food? You'd have to tell, but what?
Like from his country.
Which is?
Cameroon.
Right, got you.
So he would only really like to eat that food. So anything I can cook, he doesn't really like.
Did you learn to cook that?
I would cook with him, but we probably didn't do that as much as we could have. But again, I would facilitate all that stuff, but it was his work comes in front of everything.
Well, of course, because he's building for both of you.
And I also completely understood and supported that. But it was to a point where I would try and arrange his day, and I'd be like, okay, what do you need to get done tomorrow? And he'd tell me, and I'd be like, okay, so what if we go to the gym at this time, and then we do this for this period of time, and then that'll give us space. And he'll be like, yeah, but I need the light at this time. And I said, okay, so what if we do half of it here? But it was when I'd try support and give suggestions that actually wasn't received, because he had his way of like doing things in his head.
100%. So that example you gave, that doesn't sound like you supporting him. That sounds like you trying to make a plan with him. What I'm saying is, being supportive is supporting how he works.
Yeah.
It's not about going, okay, cool, I'm going to lay it out because you're like, that's what works for you, 100%. I'm even like that myself. But if that's not how he operates, you trying to do anything outside of that, that is not you supporting him. Okay,
but what if how he operates is very unhealthy? And it's
but that's your judgment on that.
But it's the truth, and it's actually very detrimental to him, like the way...
Then that's not the man you follow. you shouldn't be with him.
But that's what so then it's my fault and I should just leave. But I'm always trying to fix people.
I understand that, but was he like that in the beginning?
I didn't see it as much in the beginning, I think, because I didn't know him as well. Like I didn't. And that was something also with my previous, like obviously when you get to know someone, like really know someone, then you see all of this stuff. So at the start of our relationship, I didn't see how he was working like that because I wasn't spending, days in, days out with him.
Well, yeah, I know, but you said you guys were together for 18 months and you said it was like the last 4 or 5 months. So within the first year, you would have seen that.
Yeah. So like from like the 6-7 month mark, I kind of understood him and I kind of understood his world and like what happened and all of that. But I was trying to help him from then with things.
I know, but with the example you gave, it looked like you were trying to change him and how he does things. I'm just saying this is how it reads. That you feel, I get how you're like, well, I'm trying to help you, I'm trying to be supportive. Mm-hmm. But to him, it doesn't read that way. Do you know what it's like? It's like, guys, we're problem solvers, right? Mm-hmm. Our girl comes to us and goes, this happened, etc. We start going solution mode. Well, you need to do this, need to do this, need to do this. Yeah. It's like, bro, that's not what she needs. Mm-hmm. She just needs you to listen.
Yeah.
That's how you support her in that moment. Mm-hmm. This is what I'm saying. You think, well, if I try and plan with him, do this, give him a better way and tell him to do that way, that's actually going to help him succeed. You might even be right, but that's not you supporting him. Mm. Now, I'm talking about desires, right? Mm. You said you'll cook with him. Mm-hmm. Fulfilling his desire would be learning how to cook the food he likes and then doing that. Do you see what I'm saying? And I think in the beginning, and it doesn't justify a guy being toxic or bad or anything like that. Mm-hmm. That's not right. Yeah. Because at the beginning, he's catering to your desires because he wants to make an impression. Mm-hmm. That's an investment. The return later is, okay, she supports me in the way I do things and she caters to my desires within the relationship. Mm-hmm. That's what guys are looking for. Mm-hmm. When they're not getting that, they can feel like, okay, so I made all this effort to do this and I'm trying to keep the standard up. Mm-hmm. You can't even learn my favorite dish? Like, come on. Mm-hmm. Especially if he's providing. Mm-hmm. Do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Right? I'm just telling you how the impression it gives. Yeah. But listen, this has been a great chat. I love chatting to you, Leah. It was great. I really appreciate you. We're going to wrap it there. Yeah. If people want to find you, follow what you're doing, where can they find you? So I'm Leah Sarah's Life on Instagram, and my business page is Leah Sarah Studios for all things beauty. Awesome. Well, go check out the beauty stuff, guys. Go check her out. Give her a follow. Give her a like. All that good stuff. We appreciate your energy for coming on. Thank you for coming on. We appreciate you. Guys, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you in the next episode.